Welcome to One on One. I'm Steve Adubato. It is my honor, my pleasure to have my editor. See, you didn't think that introduction was coming. My editor at New Jersey Monthly, Ken Schlager. It is the 40th anniversary of this extraordinary publication. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Publication's doing great. I guess I'm doing great also.
You are.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, I read a monthly column for this great publication. That is why you were my editor. We will not talk about our back and forth. And by the way, you teach people all the time how to be the best writers they can be. But this publication, I have to ask you, 40 years, started when, how, why?
Well, first issue is November 1976, the bicentennial year. Started up by a couple of guys from Princeton. They weren't from Princeton. One was from North Carolina originally, one was from Virginia, but they were roommates at Princeton. And while in school, they got into journalism, and they got out of school looking for a business to start. And this was a time in the 70s when New York Magazine was humming along. It was a hot thing to do. New Jersey didn't have its own magazine. So they came up with this idea to start New Jersey Monthly.
Yeah, and we're showing the first initial cover. We have the initial cover. Let's put it up there. Let's make sure we do. There. Oh, geez, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great cover, I don't think, but it was a great story. It was a story about a kid in Jersey City whose family felt that he wasn't getting a proper education. They sued over this, and that there wasn't the funding for the urban schools wasn't good enough like the suburban schools. They won, and that started the whole cycle towards the famous Abbott ruling.
That's right.
The need for a tax, income tax in New Jersey.
Right. To achieve educational equity.
Yeah, right.
So interesting. And in terms of content, and you and I talk about this literally every month, I write a lot about public policy and issues, but the publication itself overall, you would not call it a political publication.
Well, it's more of a lifestyle publication.
Yeah.
We try to tell people, great stuff to do in New Jersey, great dining, events, places to go. But we also, as you know, try to cover some key issues, put perspective on some key issues. We're not a daily newspaper.
That's right.
We're not we don't have a daily news operation. We try to stay in our wheelhouse, which is really about providing perspective.
And what do you find that most people are looking for, particularly in this age where most people are, or not most, but many people are looking on some handheld device, because your circulation has not gone down in spite of the fact that many on the print side are suffering. I mean, I know, loaded question, but what are they looking for, and how have you sustained?
Well, like I said, they look to us for lifestyle information, for information about great things to do in New Jersey. But we've been very lucky because we've kind of had it both ways. Our print publication, unlike most print publications, the circulation has held up nicely. But we've also, we're on the internet, and we actually have twice as many people reading us on the web now as in print.
And it doesn't hurt the print side.
And it really hasn't hurt the print side, no. Plus, we've been launching new types of digital publications. We've launched 3 electronic newsletters, which provide new revenue streams. They're ad-supported. We launched a podcast that ad-supported. So we're just trying to reach people wherever they are, whatever kind of device there are. And even our website is now, we know that more people are accessing our website from their phones than from their computers.
Let's talk about covers. The person who has been on the cover more than anyone else is?
Bruce Springsteen, 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah, and there's a couple of other, famous New Jerseyans who've been on multiple times. Brendan Byrne, Bill Bradley.
Donald Trump.
Frank Sinatra. Donald Trump.
Twice?
Twice. Most recently in 2005, we had a cover that said, "You're fired." Gandolfini, Bon Jovi. Yeah, all 2-timers.
Interesting. The Sinatra thing, and you and I have talked about that a lot too. The Sinatra connection, your publication has done some great things with Sinatra as well. Indoors, Sinatra, people's interest in Sinatra.
Well, the interesting thing with Sinatra is, of course, everybody knows he's from Hoboken, but he had a very mixed relationship with Hoboken.
Yes.
He kind of disavowed.
But the magazine explored that.
Yes, we explored that. Like 20 years ago, we had a great piece, and then we went back to Sinatra this past December on 100th anniversary of his birth, and did a great story, I think, with a really beautiful cover.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
In terms of, this is interesting. I often wonder about this. As you're sitting there as the editor with your team, how do you, because you do this months in advance, how do you sit there, all the different ideas, months in advance, say, that's the story, we're going to do this, because things are happening all around you. people are being elected a president who we didn't expect, all kinds of things are happening. How do you do that?
I'm not telling.
Come on, you guys.
That's the secret sauce. I mean, it's all about, we're gatekeepers. The world needs editors as far as I'm concerned, right? And so I just look at creating a mix every month of different types of stories, longer stories, shorter. Our stories range anywhere from 250 words to 3,000 words. And they're about people, they're about places, things to do, they're about issues. So every month we try to come up with some type of a balance. We balance North, Central, and South Jersey. We're always looking at that kind of stuff.
But they're shorter, though. Ken, is it fair to say the stories have become shorter overall? Even if 3,000 is longer than just about anybody, but they were even longer.
Yes, I mean, and that first issue that we were talking about, that cover story was 8,000 words.
No, not 8,000 words.
Yes, 8,000 words, and nobody's going to sit through an 8,000-word story anymore. But 3,000 words we've found is about right, where you can really get in deep into a subject like you can't do in daily newspaper. And I'm an old daily newspaper guy, and I still read 2 newspapers in my hands every day. But those are shorter stories. And so if you want to go in deep on something, you got to come to a monthly magazine.
Design matters more than ever. Talk about design.
Gorgeous design. Laura Baer is our creative director. Andy Ogilvy is our associate art director. Design is incredibly important
Photography,
for us. Great
huge.
Photography. Spent a lot of money on great photographers, freelance photographers, and great design, because that's something that, that's why people want to hold the magazine in their hands. And good paper also. People want
good paper. What's the difference?
Well, you'd know it if you felt it.
It is true. I'm being devil's advocate because you're right.
Something that holds up, that doesn't curl up, that feels substantial. We have a beautiful glossy paper we use, and it brings out the color in the photographs. Big photos, layout. You can't see that in very many places anymore. And I think that's why people still embrace the magazine and pass the magazine along. We have terrific pass along. Every issue, on average, gets read by 4 or 5 people.
I am playing devil's advocate, but there have been other publications that I've grabbed. I said, wow, that paper is cheap, and it does not give you a good feeling. The future of, I'm not going to say magazines overall, because who the heck knows, but of this publication.
Well, as I said, we're just trying to give people a publication that they can read wherever they are, whether they're on their phone, whether they're on their computer, or they still want to hold it in their hands. We're launching new products, just all different ways to reach people digitally, and the great thing is we get feedback now. We can find out which stories they're actually reading, and it helps direct us to the type of topics people really want.
Impression is, sorry for interrupting, Ken, I need to ask you this. They still want to know best schools. They still want to know restaurants, best docs, right?
All that stuff is great. All that stuff is great. And what's really especially great for us is we'll do top doctors once a year. We'll do top high schools every other year. We'll do best restaurants once a year. But online, those things are 24/7, 12 months a year. So, our best restaurants list, our top 25 restaurants, that's our #1 story on the website every day, all year long.
And by the way, say that again, because I'm struck by this. You said twice as many online as in print.
Yes, absolutely.
And not hurting the print side.
And not hurting the print side.
90,000 circulation?
Yes, and it's been that way. I've seen media kits from 20 years ago, and we were there. I've only been with the publication 9 years now. Longest serving editor in the history of publication.
How many years?
9 years.
Impressive. 40th anniversary of New Jersey Monthly, a terrific publication. Check it out, in print, online, good stuff. And I'd say it whether I was a columnist or not. Thank you, Ken. Congratulations to you and your terrific team. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Investors Bank, Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey, Passaic County Community College, Josh S. Weston, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by the Give Something Back Foundation. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.